and welcome to the David Tomsic Show, fighting tyranny one day at a time. It's Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. Well, Donald Trump did it again. Oops, he did it again. That's right, he did. This time he crashed our credit rating. Moody's, an apolitical credit rating service, downgraded the American economy from AAA. It was the final nail in the coffin of our AAA ratings. Two other agencies did it in the past. So now we have no, zero, zilch, nada AAA ratings. Now this affects everything. It's a big deal. Now the downgrade was because, at least Moody's said, that the American economy is now going to be farther in debt because of Donald Trump's big, beautiful tax bill. Of course, they are right. It will add billions of dollars to the U.S. debt over the next 10 years. Now, we are in trouble with this because it affects other things in the economy. Now, the New York Times, and I'm going to read a little article here from the New York Times. The title of the New York Times article is "Markets Rattled on Concerns About U.S. Debt." And it goes on and says this: one factor jarring markets is a bill in Congress that would make President Trump's signature 2017 tax cut permanent and could add trillions of dollars to federal debt. The U.S. credit rating downgrade and worries about debt and deficits could further upset financial markets if they begin to shake the safe haven status of Treasury bonds. I'll talk about that in a second. A Federal Reserve official, Raphael Bostic, I believe he's out of the Atlanta Federal Reserve. I'm pretty sure he is. He says, with that downgrade, it will have implications for the cost of capital and a bunch of other things, and it could ripple through the economy. Today, there's a lot of flux and a lot of uncertainty. Okay, what does this actually mean then? Well, uncertainty, as I've said in other videos, is the enemy of our stock market, is the enemy of our economy. Investors especially want a safe haven to place their money. Now, when you don't have any AAA rating, when you now have been downgraded, this worries investors. Added to that, Donald Trump's erratic behavior on the economy, on tariffs, has scared off a lot of investors, foreign investors. Now, we rely on them here in this country. You want to build factories, you need investors. Why would they come here with this uncertainty and flux? People want stability. Investors want stability. Donald Trump is not stable. He's not stable in any way, let alone the economy he's creating. So this is a problem. This goes on, and it comes back to the tariffs. Of course, it always does. Recently, we know that there was this big, beautiful trade deal. Well, no, it wasn't a trade deal. It's a temporary trade deal for 90 days. Temporary. But I digress. Now, one of the big retailers, the largest retailer, Walmart, has told everyone that they're going to have to raise prices at the end of this month, June. Donald Trump went on the fascist social network, Truth Social, and he said this: Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the reason for raising prices throughout the chain. Walmart made billions of dollars last year, far more than expected. Between Walmart and China, they should, as it said, eat the tariffs and not charge valued customers anything. I'll be watching, and so will your customers. Wow. Okay. Well, absolutely. You're right. You're right, Donald. According to his fascist news secretary, you know, the one that goes in front of the camera every week or every day, I think, Caroline Leavitt, what a gem she is. She said that Trump's tariffs are a tax hike on foreign countries that have been ripping us off. This is, again, Economics 101. Those of you from the right, sit down. Listen, I know you missed this in school, so I'm going to talk slower. Or you could take maybe a course. Community colleges have very good courses, and find an instructor that talks really, really slow so you understand this. Tariffs are not a tax on China. They're not. I've had experts I've referred to on this channel from around the world. They all laugh at this nonsense that Caroline Leavitt just said. She should be embarrassed. she should stay in a closet for a week and not come out because she's an embarrassment to the integrity of the United States, to the IQ of the United States. Because she gets in front of the microphone, the IQ drops 40 or 50 points. Okay, one more time. China ships out a ship. They steer it all the way to the United States. Okay, for those of you that missed this, they put the cargo on a ship and they go to a port in the United States, say Norfolk, and they unload it. And they put it down on American soil. And an importer, a guy, a business, pays for the shipment to come in. And that 30% that we now pay on those imports, that 30%, China did not pay. They're waiting at the port with their hand out going, who's going to pay this plus 30%? Well, the importer says, I will. Now, that importer, like you and me, like Walmart, you're not going to say, I'm not going to eat this. Somebody's got to pay for this tariff, this extra 30%. Well, guess what? Those people who want the product that was brought in on that ship from China, let's say Walmart, they pay that importer whatever it cost for that shipment plus 30%. So guess who paid for it? Well, Walmart did. But Walmart said, I'm not going to pay for this because we have a bottom line. Making billions. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I didn't look them up to see what they made last year. It doesn't matter. Because Donald Trump, you're a businessman. Well, you sell watches and Bibles, junk mostly made in China too, and you want the most you can from that. You would add more money. You're not going to lose money on which you're getting people to buy from you in your little business you got going on the side, your con. So Walmart, they're in business, and their business model, I'm going to take this really slow. They have a business model. How they ran their business from the beginning is on low prices. There's no reason they want to have higher prices. Their whole business model is to offer people lower prices, sell in volume, and they make money. They don't want to raise prices. They have no skin in the game for that. But guess what? 30% is 30%. And as I said, somebody's got to pay. It's not going to be China. Caroline Leavitt. Caroline. Oh my. So this whole thing, eat the tariffs, eating cats and dogs. I got some bad news for you, Donald. This is not a socialist country or a communist country, although you claimed that the Biden and Kamala were socialists and communists. But if they would have said what you just said, eat the tariffs, all your right-wing followers would say, you're a communist. You're telling companies how much they should charge for their products. You're controlling what they're allowed to make on their products they sell. That's communist. But it's not. So it's Donald Trump. It's okay. Eat the tariffs. Well, they're not going to, Donald. And it's on you. They're not going to go in a red or lose money because of you. They're not. It's not like I bought this for $1 and I'm charging $100. It's not. There's a fine margin there. And 30% could pretty much damage that margin. Their stockholders don't want that. Why would you, as a stockholder, if you're a shareholder, why would you want your company to lose money? You're not. And it's not going to happen. Finally, I want to touch base with this. I talked about safe haven. The United States was a safe haven for money, for investment. I found a lady I watch occasionally. Her name of her video is for World Affairs in Context. She's very good. She's an analyst. And the name of this video was Bond Markets Panic as Yields Surge and China Ditches Treasuries. Now, last Friday when this downgrade came, Donald Trump was not a happy camper. He was crying. And Caroline Leavitt said, it's okay. We'll blame somebody else. They have basically a whole group of people that come up with people to blame. And it was easy at first. It was always Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. But now they need to expand who they blame. And I think they got down to Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and they named some other people I didn't know to blame for whatever's going wrong, because it's not Donald Trump. It's always somebody else. So the Asian markets obviously first heard this news because they are the first to basically open up for trade. Of course, the markets went down, the dollar slipped. But the worst of this was that Treasury yields shot higher. That's not good. And I'm going to give you basically a generic explanation on Treasury yields. Not everybody knows this, and there's a fine line to how to explain this. But I could have gave you 5 or 6 talking points, but I'm going to give you 3, I think, that will explain how important Treasury yields are to you and to me and to the country. Higher Treasury yields act as a benchmark for other interest rates. That's mortgages, car loans, and credit card interest, right? They can also make borrowing costs more expensive for consumers, business, and potentially for people who invest in this country. That's an important aspect. See, what people don't realize is that it isn't just about America. You know, this whole thing with Trump and basically trying to sever our relationships with the world, it's stupid because the world is involved in our country as well as we are in theirs. Investors from other countries invest here, billions of dollars. You want a factory? It's usually foreign investors that come in and put money in. They're not doing that now. More and more are not. There's less and less investment in the United States since Donald Trump took office in a short time than there has been in decades. Why? Because it's no longer a safe haven. It's unstable, just like our president. And that's what they see. It's unstable. Why would you do this? So this is going to affect everything we do. Mortgage rates, car loans. It's already hard to buy a car, buy a house because mortgage rates are high. And of course, the investment package is what I just mentioned. The next one, rising yields can be a sign to investors that there's a return of inflation or inflation will increase. They want compensated for that difference. Inflation goes up. They want compensated for that cost of inflation. Well, again, having done that causes more inflation. It's inflationary to compensate for inflation. More money's involved, more money's in the economy, more inflation occurs. The next thing I wrote here is some analysts, like myself, believe that higher yields could reflect market expectations of a recession. We've talked about this in the past, and I was off on some of my calls, and I'll tell you that. I've learned to read inflation, GDP, and, of course, the recession fears differently than I did even 3 years ago. The United States economy is resilient, no matter who's president. Why is that? Because it was a safe haven for investing. As long as you can get investments, you still are able to keep the ball rolling. We can kick that can down the road because we could borrow. We could do these things cheaply, but we can't anymore. The next thing is consumers are consumers. The United States economy really floats on consumer spending. A very high percentage, between 70 and 80%, if not a little more, of our economy consists of people buying things. That keeps it going. So no matter who's president, this sort of still works. You may have a little down, but it's not going straight down. That could change now because, you see, people are looking at America as a place to stay away from. Businesses can't expand because of the cost of borrowing are increasing. So you can't hire more people because it costs more. That helps recession fears grow. And as that continues, recession fears grow with it. And with that, less investment. It's the way it works. People are afraid. Rising yields can increase the cost of borrowing for the U.S. government, potentially leading to even higher deficits and debt. This works into the others. Because the costs of borrowing are higher, the cost of borrowing for the United States to kind of up their debt ante every year, the cost of debt goes up. The cost of government more to borrow money. Now, European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde said in a recent interview with La Tribune de Monche about the rise of the euro against the dollar. The euro basically is strengthening against the U.S. dollar. She said this: "It's counterintuitive but justified by the uncertainty and loss of confidence in U.S. politics among certain segments of the financial markets." This is important, and she's right. This kind of fits in with what I said. Uncertainty in U.S. politics, Donald Trump. Among certain segments of the financial markets, these are the investing class. These are the people that have money to invest, and they're not going to invest here because of that uncertainty. Okay, another warning sign is that China, one of the biggest holders of U.S. Treasuries, trimmed its holdings in March of this year. Now, they've been doing this slowly, but now that is increasing. This indicates a shifting away of the cause of global instability. That cause of global instability is the United States government and Donald Trump. What's going to happen here? What is Congress doing? Well, this. They'll end up passing this glutton of a big, beautiful tax bill, raise the debt ceiling by $4 trillion. They'll burden the American people with tax cuts on the rich, the wealthy, the billionaire class. And if you look at the average person, the middle-class person is going to lose $700 a year. Others more. How does that work? How do we allow this to happen? Because people over there support this. No matter how bad it gets, they're waiting for the big, big moment that everything's fixed. The big, big moment. It's going to happen. There's something happening in July. Something big. I've been told that I'm wrong. Wrong. You're wrong. You don't understand. I don't understand. The important thing to note is that maybe I don't understand, but many people that I've gotten information from, some of the best of the best of the best, do understand. And they don't agree with you folks on the right. They're worried, and they should be. We all should be. Once again, this is part of what I've been saying on every single video. This is tyranny. We've been hijacked. Our system has been hijacked. You can name your own reason why you think it's been hijacked. I've stated mine. No matter what it is, we're in trouble. We fight tyranny here on the David Tomsic Show. Please like, subscribe, and share these videos. That helps us a lot. We want to reach more and more people. We do this for nothing. We do. We come in here. This takes hours to do, 5 days a week. And I know that to you that might not mean anything. To me, it's time, but I enjoy it. I enjoy letting people understand what I understand. The effort I've put in for 15 or so years to understand the world, the markets, geopolitics, I did it because I enjoyed it. I'm good at it. And I hope that it helps you. I hope that it helps you understand that this is not a good time for the American people. We've never seen anything like this before in history. And I've mentioned yesterday in the article and in my video about even federal judges said this is unprecedented. The actions of this president against the American people, against our Constitution, is unprecedented. I rest my case, drop the mic, walk off the stage. So please join us. I'm glad of those who return every day to see these videos. I want to see more of you. Please support us in any way you can by helping other people find us. Remember, we have a sister channel, Nights Around the Fire. We're doing a video today, and you'll see that probably posted on Wednesday or Thursday. Go to Nights Around the Fire. I have a link in the description box. Join that channel as well. We want to grow that channel, and it's more fun. If you like legends, mysteries, and myths, we're going to discuss that. You'll enjoy it. Get you out of reality for a while. The hard reality of where we really are in this country and the world and how quickly our path is being changed. So God bless you, and I will see you tomorrow right here on your favorite channel for news, analysis, and commentary, The David Tomsic Show. See you tomorrow.